Hello, and welcome to Tip of the Day for Single Moms of Faith. I am Dr. Chanel Serrano, and I wanted to share today and talk about stop fighting for a seat at the table and build your own table. And so, before I jump into that saucy topic, I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. So, again, I am Dr. Chanel Serrano. I am the founder of Esther's Daughters LLC, a faith-based organization that is geared towards serving the unique needs of single moms, as well as faith-based organizations who work with and serve this amazing population. I'm also the published author of Co-Parenting with Christ, 9 Steps to Achieving Harmony, as well as the author of an upcoming book, All God Needs Is Your Yes. I am a blogger for Doing Life with Christ, which is a faith-based blog that is geared towards both men and women, but especially towards women, where I talk about different topics, including leadership, spirituality, and faith, parenting and family, and all things in between, including dating. And I have been in the helping profession for approximately 26 years, with my current position in leadership, primarily in management. And lastly, and most importantly, I am mom to an almost 21-year-old son. So a lot of what tips for single moms, the Single Moms of Faith is all about, is really sharing evidence-based tools and techniques, as well as tools and techniques, strategies that I've applied within my own life, as well as other moms of faith too. So I hope you enjoy and take out a journal and let's go. So, as I mentioned, today's topic is stop fighting for a seat at the table and build your own. And the reason why I am bringing this up is because, especially in this season of my life, and many women may find themselves in that same season. Several years ago, I was called to serve single moms, and that has continued, and my heart continues to be for single moms. And so I've noticed that in recent years, God has been creating opportunities upon opportunities to develop, come alongside, equip, and to mentor women in leadership, or mentor women into positions of leadership. And so that has also been an area that I have been growing in as well. And so I absolutely love coming alongside women and helping to equip them, whether that is salary negotiation, whether that is how to determine the unique needs and spiritual gifts and love language of your staff, to developing and learning what your leadership style is. What does that look like? And how to move forward and navigate through corporate America as a woman of faith, right? And so I wanted to just share a couple of things that have really been helpful as I've navigated through this season in my life as a leader, and some great tips for you as well if you're also learning how to navigate through, or just needing some tips on how to navigate through as being a woman of faith and being a leader within corporate America. So the first thing that I wanted to mention, or first point I wanted to highlight, is mindset. That when it comes to uh, building your own table, as opposed to fighting for the seat, because sometimes you're fighting for a seat that God is saying, you've surpassed that. Developing that mindset means that understanding and being able to recognize when God presents opportunities to you to grow you, to develop you, right? To develop your character. And so sometimes, and I'll give you an example. So there's someone who I've worked with, and she has desired to want to promote into a position of leadership, and uh, has been trying for some time. And so every which way that she's moving, there seems to be a challenge or an obstacle, whether that is a person or people or a situation. And so sometimes God is saying it's time. And we have to be in a position to be able to recognize when that time is upon us. It may not necessarily look and fall into place just in pure perfection. Sometimes in the middle of the disruptions and the chaos, God is saying it's time to move, right? And that's happened to me on many occasions. And so really honing in on your mindset and understanding your God identity to be able to hear God's voice when he is telling you when to move. Part of that mindset too is also understanding how to create the life that you want, that you desire, and creating the life that God has desired or is desiring for you, and what that looks like, right? And that's a life of healing and wholeness and abundance and blessing. That doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy or convenient. But what that does mean is that God is equipping you and giving you the tools to be able to navigate through any and everything that comes your way. Also, and building your table, your own table, is setting yourself apart. Setting yourself apart, and sometimes God will just do that for you. Setting yourself apart from maybe situations or circles that no longer serve you in this new season. That what comes with elevation, right? Or different things, a new group that comes with that elevation. And so being able to recognize when God is setting you apart and saying, daughter, it is now time to move into this direction. And so for years, I noticed every year my friendships or circle would tend to change. I have a couple good friends where that has remained stable. Those quality friendships, quality sisterhoods, right? But over the years, there's always been a level of shifting where God is saying, okay, this person is I'm not calling them to enter into the next season with you. And so that comes with elevation. A mindset or a paradigm shift comes with elevation. That comes with a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing, a new way of navigating. That comes with growth, with not remaining stagnant, but always being in a mindset of improvement and wanting to grow and develop and being vulnerable to allow God to develop you in this season. That's part of becoming, right? Becoming the woman whom God has called us to become. That stretching and that molding and that purging out of what God doesn't want to be there. Okay. Also within that is understanding too that sometimes that means that some things may be postponed. Maybe you need to reevaluate. Maybe you need to reprioritize or prioritize some things or people or situations in your life, depending on the season that God has you in. And that is okay. Just know, do not give up. And so if you know that there is something that God has put in your heart, you know that He is preparing you for that. Do not become weary, do not become anxious, but know that as long as you focus on the Lord and not on the distractions, that He will give you the strength and the ability to move forward and be able to recognize the people whom He is putting in your life to help come alongside you. In addition to building your own table, take inventory of your life. Ask yourself, what is your life plan? What is working for you? What is not? Okay, where do you see yourself? And that moves into goals. I am a firm believer. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a firm believer in setting up goals for yourself. That's long-term and short-term goals. I'm a firm believer, proponent for SMART goals. So that is S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable or achievable, R for relevant or realistic, and T is for time specific. And so when you're making those goals for yourself and obviously in alignment with God's will and God's purpose and His word, that you are making sure that they are SMART goals, that they are measurable, that they are attainable, that they are realistic, right? And that they are specific, not vague, but specific goals. In addition to that, too, positioning yourself. And so what that means is, again, being able to recognize opportunities when God is saying, this is the place that I have you in this season, and allowing him to strategically position you. Sometimes it happens so quickly that I can say even within my own life, on many occasions, especially as I've navigated through and moved up and continue to move up and promote in different positions within leadership, that God will position you accordingly. But allow him to position you to to serve. And that is what building your own table is all about. It's not about us, but it is about the people whom God has called us to serve. And so always having a servant's heart. And that can look like, well, moving into my next um, point is giving back. That is what service is about and servanthood is about, whether that is monetary, whether that is giving of your time, volunteering. Maybe that is giving of resources as far as maybe you know how to do a task very well. And so I remember even for myself, when I started Esther's Daughters, when I founded Esther's Daughters LLC, and someone blessed me, God blessed me with this amazing woman who is my friend to this day. And she has an accounting bookkeeping business. And she said, you know, God told me to bless you. And so for the first year, she offered free bookkeeping services for me and got everything situated for me. And so I knew how to move forward. If you knew how much of a blessing that was for her to be open to be a servant, to not my business, but to God's kingdom. And so that was a true blessing. And so if you have the ability, you have skills, you have um, uh, talents and gifts and passion that you want to bless someone with, as far as, again, maybe a task that you can do for business, volunteer your time, etc. Consider that as part of giving back. And then lastly, as um, part of building your own table is mentorship, right? And that means seeking a mentor, a spiritual mentor. I may have mentioned it in previous videos. I have an amazing spiritual mentor. Love her, love her, love her. I also have a spiritual godmother, as well as a professional mentor. And these are people who have expertise in a particular area. So, for instance, my spiritual mentor, even though she is very gifted in many areas, I tend to seek her for that spiritual guidance and advice and insight. And so definitely make sure that you connect in finding a mentor who can speak into your life, someone who has similar core beliefs, someone who you trust, you respect, someone who can provide quality feedback and who really want to see you grow, especially in that area that you're seeking mentorship in. And overall, what this reminds me of too, as we're talking about stop fighting for the seat, stop fighting for a seat, but build your own table, is again going back to positioning. And I am thinking of Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 13, where it talks about the parable of the 10 virgins. And so you have 10 virgins, and 5 of them were prepared. They had the oil with them. And so when the bridegroom came, they were prepared. They were ready to go. And the last 5, the other 5, they did not have the oil. And so they left quickly to go get the oil. And by the time they came back, they missed the bridegroom. And so, what does that mean as it relates to positioning yourself? If you stay ready, you won't have to get ready, right? And so, making sure that you are preparing yourself, that you are equipping yourself, that if there are areas in your life that require healing, seek your healing. Seek healing through God, seek healing through therapy. And there's nothing wrong with therapy because God has created those opportunities for people to go to school and to get that additional training. And I'm one of them. who pursued that training in order to provide that level of counseling and of therapy. So definitely seek the healing. Go pursue the healing process. And it's a journey, not a destination, right? And so we definitely want to be mindful of that. So I hope these tips were helpful for my women of faith who are in positions of leadership and or who desire to navigate through corporate America and positions of leadership. So have a great day. If you'd like to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as my YouTube channel at Dr. Chanel A. Serano. You can also reach out to me on my blog. I have great faith-based content for you at www.doinglifewithchristblog.wordpress.com, or go to my business website at www.estersdaughtersllc.com. Feel free to drop me a comment down below, and I look forward to hearing you. And remember, as always, parenting is not a destination, it is a journey. God bless you and have a great day. Bye, everyone.